Hello, hello. It's good. All right, hold on now. Let's go out there, and then just let's talk. Let's see how the volume sounds. Hi, Jazzy. How are you? Thank you so much for joining my test call or whatever.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Like kind of delayed, but
Yeah, it's gonna be delayed. That's fine. Okay.
I don't want to be in this thing. Oh, perfect. If I sit over here, no one can see me. He's gonna make me scoot though.
Yeah, he definitely is.
They're gonna get aside from black.
I don't enjoy this actually.
So,
I'm like literally not gonna say anything.
it's kind of just like so they know that we're here. Yeah, it's a funny. Funny look.
Like, hi guys.
Hey, friend.
How are you?
Oh, you guys got to come closer. I'll shift to the left. It's weird. It's backwards.
I know.
It's opposite.
Like mirrored.
Oh.
It's like, oh, shit.
Oh, this is confusing.
Why?
Because look, I'm on the left. So when I look this way or that way, yeah. That's, all right, you guys got to get up in this. Don't put me up here front and center by myself.
Oh, perfect.
No, because they're not gonna be able to hear you, Sergio.
Yeah.
Especially with your.
Like, come
Oh,
closer.
this is perfect.
You should
Yeah,
like
look at
peek
us.
over the chair there.
He's like sitting on the ground. We can see him.
Okay. Oh, we got 9 minutes. All right. We have to wait. Is there a way? We have 2 people. Okay.
Those are Jazzy and
You're not on anymore?
No.
Okay. So those are 2 actual people. All right. And so then chat there
Yeah. I'll
in the
keep an eye on
bottom
that.
corner, and then you'll.
Oh wait, by the way, so I'm London, one of the girls who is also doing Excel, the mom.
People watching.
So as long as it's just remember we're on the live stream.
I don't know, fine.
Okay.
No, she mentioned it
We'll
that
have private stuff.
no, she mentioned it that when she did, you guys did the same for Excel.
Uh huh.
mm, it was fine because Jacob was responding, answering the questions.
Uh-huh.
But also, maybe we should also ask, say the question like talking, if it's pertinent, if it's a good question. Because he was-
the questions at the end. I think, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
so if
answering,
it's
but-
relevant to like what we're talking about, then we can answer it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we're gonna take the more questions at the end because we're gonna cover like a lot, you know. But a lot of times people start asking questions about stuff that we're gonna cover
or
in
something
a
that
little bit. So
it's
it's
only
like
affect them.
let's wait, right? So, all right, I'll be back in a minute.
maybe I should move
What's
this.
your-
Yeah.
Oh, what's your email again, Natalie?
Natalie Cows.
Like that? Yeah. Yeah.
Cows
It's like house.
with a C.
Yeah.
Why not cows? Cows. Because cows.
I don't know. That's
Because some people when say because they
everybody.
say cause.
Yeah, everybody says coos.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can write down like questions.
Wait, they can see us now.
Oh, super good quality.
What is the link?
I didn't get it.
You didn't get the link?
Nobody said anything.
Okay.
Did you get the link?
You sent it?
I can share.
Yeah, please.
Well, how is?
Because I was like,
Hey, you sent it to Joe, not me.
I saw the last email. I was like, oh, we'll send a link in the next one. So I was like, okay. I was like waiting for it.
But you don't have your computer. Ah, but you don't have
My
your
computer's
phone.
broken, so
What?
yeah, it's a long story. So actually, no, it just doesn't work.
Sent it to your
Ah, to my.
Geo.
Ah, okay. I told you. I did get it before. What? I'm gonna mute it. I'm gonna mute it.
Had to hear that first.
Oh, we got 6 people now.
Why are you sitting behind that chair?
Because Joel was gonna stand up there, so that nobody's gonna see me.
But like,
Oh, you should
sit there.
No, like here.
He's shy.
I am shy.
Don't worry, I need this chair anyways.
Are you gonna see the?
Well, I need it because I'm going to play laptop. Oh, tomorrow. And your shield's coming through you.
Okay, how do we know how many people are actually?
Loading. Is it glitching for you too?
It's like a little bit slower. It's not that.
Ah, just smart.
Yeah, took your. Yeah, she is. Perfect.
You guys, I was waiting for you guys in the nobody I was gonna get you breakfast.
I know. I was like, oh. Okay, we're back. There's some documents. So you guys should be here before we start.
All right. How we doing?
Good. Woo.
All right. This is like one of those, like, this is like, did you ever see the Truman Show with Jim Carrey? It's like you guys, a live stream of you guys reading. It's like, oh, look at the sleeping right now.
I love it.
It was actually a good movie. Who knew Jim Carrey was such a good actor? It's actually a lot of comedians are good actors because like comedy is like kind of like the hard, you know, to like be able to like take,
Yeah, like
you know,
the room kind of.
yeah. So that's why like Tom Hanks, like you see, like they started in comedy. Robin Williams. All right, I'm gonna just start these. We have like 2 more minutes.
1 minute.
Huh? Okay, we'll wait, and
Okay.
1 more minute, and then we'll start.
We're 25 now.
Three.
It should be at least 30 people, right?
5, 40.
Is safe, so they can still see it. Right.
Forward you send me, so thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Jesse, you were so professional with this. Like,
She is a professional.
do you make your subs sign a paper or something?
I think we have to.
We're supposed
It's team, so you accepted
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
But Katie doesn't do acro.
But in like in classes.
Yeah. So the thing that I signed, it was for the class, not for acro. Oh, okay.
All right, are we ready?
You
to.
got
We're at 27.
my computer says 21.
No, mine went down.
Wait, I'm done.
Maybe your phone is more.
Well, no, it was like 25. I said, you guys are
I'm
boring.
25.
Not interesting.
Okay, 25. Okay, it jumped way up. Okay, perfect. Good morning, folks. Just a heads up, this is going to be recorded, and I will have it. I'll email the link out to you guys later, so that you can watch it if there's anything you wanted to kind of circle back on, or if you have to miss part of it. But I'll kind of send that out after. If you don't know who we are, this is Coach Jasmine, Coach Natalie. Sergio, can you not hide behind my head? Like I look. All right. Oh my goodness. And Coach Sergio. Yes. So, and I'm Joel. And so thank you guys so much for coming and joining us today to get some information on the Acro and tumbling program. We are trying to make sure that we have clear set of expectations for the athletes, the parents involved, so that we can have the best possible experience for the kids this year. We just ask you guys to remember that this is a team sport, unlike other gymnastics sports, which are more individual. And, you know, while they have scores they count towards team, they are individual. They choreograph routines. And, you know, suddenly kids don't show up. It's like missing a leg on a chair. You know, you just suddenly this person's not here now. You're missing that whole part of the routine. They have a specific job. So, you know, it is really important that if you're going to commit to this team, that you understand that and that you, you know, are signing up for that. You know, if that's not something that you guys can commit to, we understand there's no hard feelings, but, you know, just don't do it. You know, so that's ultimately kind of where we fall there. In the meantime, we're gonna go through all this kind of everything and try and give you as much information so you guys can make an informed decision. So if you guys open up your team handbook, the acrobatics and tumbling team handbook that was sent out yesterday, you can click on that and kind of follow along. I'm going to skip through kind of the, you know, competitive team part, but we will talk about the description of acrobatics and tumbling. I'm going to let talk about that specifically because she is obviously much more informed.
Okay, so acrobatics tumbling is kind of a combination of stunt, cheer, and gymnastics all together. The USAG does give a definition, which is in the handbook if you guys would like to read that. Usually there's around 2 to 4 teams during competition that you're competing against. There are a few events, so acro, pyramid, toss, tumbling, and then synchronized tumbling as well, and synchronized skills. These are all things that the girls will be competing. So it's kind of different than gymnastics, but there are a few more things involved in it. So level 2 will be competing 3 and optional events.
Thank you. Okay. So just so you guys understand requirements for participating in our competitive team, as I mentioned, this is a team sport. It is a full year program. So we do go basically from now all the way until essentially end of next June is USAG Nationals. So it is a year-round program. We will have practices pretty much the entire year. We'll have a few that are canceled throughout the year. But understanding with team, we do practice. You know, there's 52 weeks in a year, but we bill based on monthly. So in our recreational classes, we prorate if we cancel a workout or if we add, you know, if there's extra weeks and things like that. With the team, we don't do that. It's just it's based on a flat 4-week. And that's because we know at certain points we may have to cancel a workout. If there's, you know, travel for a meet, if there's a holiday, you know, if there's a gym closure, whatever, we're not going to prorate. But this is just a flat monthly fee. Okay. We do highly encourage you guys during season to try not to take vacations that especially like the weeks before the meet, you know, so that we can make sure that everybody is training. And as I mentioned, these kids are all part of you know, they have each specifically a choreographed area. So if one kid is missing, it affects the entire group. Okay. Injuries, you know, we'll talk about a little bit more in detail later. Attendance, again, just talked about the importance of attendance, making sure you're coming. Number 6, athletes must attend all competitions to remain on the team. So we will have 3 travel competitions and 2 competitions that will happen at Victory. So all of those are required. They are mandatory for all of our team athletes. You know, tuition and meet fees are all required for everybody to be on the team. Okay. Okay. So then athlete expectations. So athlete expectations is, you know, really talking about the idea that, you know, the team it's an invitation program. It's a special program. We consider it an honor to be on the program, and we expect the girls to behave appropriately. We understand that there's different personalities, different, different types of kids, but overall, it's very important for us that the kids understand that they need to treat each other and their coaches with respect, kindness, treat them appropriately. And we will protect that here. So, we're not going to permit bullying. We're not going to permit teasing. Those are things that are really important to us. And we really expect your cooperation in making sure that that happens. We sort of have a tiered system as far as like disciplinary issues. So first issue will happen with a warning, in which like the coaches will talk to the athlete. The secondary warning will require some form of community service. So whether that be something at the gym that they have to do, that the coaches decide, whether that's spending an hour at a retirement community visiting with folks and talking to people, but just something that is making them realize that, hey, this is serious. Third event result in suspension, which would be a week of them not being allowed to be a part of the team. And then beyond that, if it continues, then we can then unfortunately we would have to deal with expulsion. So none of the stuff we want to get to, but it is very important that we get that both parents and kids are on board with understanding that this is going to be a safe space for the kids, and that we're going to make sure that happens. Okay. And then moving into parent expectations, I will say that, the most important part of like the parent involvement in this in the sport is just making sure that, that you're supportive of your kids, that you're positive, that you're positive about the coaches, that you're positive about, any situations. If you have concerns about a coach or whatnot, bring it up to us. Don't be talking badly about the coaches to the kids. Because if the kids lose respect for their coaches, they're not going to listen. It's going to show up in practice. It's going to spiral and make things worse. So if you have a concern, bring it directly to me, to Jasmine, to Sergio, if they're, let's talk through it. Additionally, as far as like parents, you guys are welcome and encouraged to view and watch. But just don't be a disruption to practice. Don't be coaching your kids from the sidelines. Don't be talking negatively about things again. And, I understand a lot of times people have maybe frustrations or issues and things. Another parent thinks those issues are the people in this room. So if you're not talking to one of us, nothing's going to change or improve. So make sure that you are doing that, and that you are talking to us and that you're creating a positive environment overall for the kids. Additionally, we no gossiping about teammates or other families. Talking about families going through divorce. Some kid who's what they're wearing. Any of that kind of stuff. It just creates again a negative environment. Parents, you guys are very influential and important to like creating that positive environment. So, that's just a very important part of the gym. Okay. So that's the parent and guest observation. You guys can obviously read through those things more specifically, but, those are kind of our, general policies. Communication. So communication is important. It's important from you to us. If you guys have concerns, if your kids are not here, if your kid's sick, if your kid's injured, those are all important. Additionally, it's important from us to you, and we understand that. So we want to make sure that you guys are clear on our method of communication and that you guys are You'll see there's phone numbers for Jasmine and Sergio and emails for Jasmine and Sergio. So you can speak to your coaches directly after practice or before practice. Those should be for brief, quick conversations. If you need a more in-depth conversation, if you're having a real concern, reach out to them and set up a meeting. The one thing that I will ask you is please be considerate of their time, and what time it is. I've had people texting me at 4 a.m., before, it's, nobody wants to get woken up at 4 a.m. About an issue that can be talked about at 9 a.m. So please just be respectful of them. Additionally, if you have questions about billing or hours or things like that, reach out to the office. We have the email and phone number. And then last, we have the band app. So every parent and every that is on the team should be on the band app. And you need to make sure that you are checking those, because the coaches use that multiple times a week. And so if you don't have band, if you're not using it, then you're missing out on information, and that's important. Okay. So please, again, if you have issues, if you have concerns, if you have questions, this is the best ways to make sure that happens. We will also be making sure that we are communicating via the band app, things like schedules, things that are going to be that you need to make access throughout the year. We will send in emails as well. Okay. Okay. Moving on to social media and digital communication. So number one, USAG restricts coaches from communicating directly with any athlete, any minor athlete in a one-on-one setting. So your kids cannot ever text our coaches in a one-on-one setting. They can text, your athlete can text Jazzy and Sergio together, but they can never text just Jazzy or just Sergio. So if they do that, Jazzy and Sergio or Sergio would respond back with the text in a separate thread with you and the athlete, or the other coach and the athlete, depending on the circumstances of the text. But please encourage them not to be communicating directly with the coaches. It's for your kids' protection. It's also for the coaches' protection. And there's just no reason for them to be talking one-on-one privately. Okay. So if you see anything like that, please make sure that we are notified immediately. Okay. Additionally, with that, social media is a big part of these kids' lives. It's a big part of the coaches' lives. Victory does allow kids to follow the coaches and for coaches to accept those friend requests or follow the kids. However, we do emphasize to you guys that the coaches are adult. May post things that you find offensive or that you don't want your kid exposed to. They're all good people, but obviously you never know what things they're going to like or what they're going to comment on. So you guys have to decide if you are going to allow your kids to follow the coaches. We have a choice. If they want to allow the kids to follow them, we allow them to decide that. However, we do not allow direct messaging of any kind, similar to the text, that, any comments, any communication must be public. So if any time we find out that there's direct messaging between an athlete and a coach under any circumstances, that is prohibited. Okay. Additionally, social media sometimes can be a cesspool of negativity, of teasing, of bullying. It is something that we are going to emphasize, that if we see comments or messages or things like that from teammates about other teammates, about their coaches, about any of that kind of stuff that is negative, we are going to take action on that. That's, a part of us creating a safe environment. Ultimately at the end of the day, what I would say is if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. Right. So that's sort of our message. So, we expect the kids to follow that, and we are going to enforce that if we see it. Okay. Okay. So, as far as band is if they're texting individual coaches, that will be in a group thread, correct?
Well, the kids can't text us individually, but the parents can.
Okay. Okay. So Sarah, to clarify Jasmine's answer to that, parents can always text coaches individually. You're an adult. That's fine. But kids cannot be texting coaches individually on Band or any other app. Okay, so in a one-on-one, they can communicate in a group forum, or if they want to communicate with a coach privately, they must have another adult on that thread. So it either needs to be Natalie and Jazzy, Natalie and Sergio, or it can be a parent and one of the coaches as well. Okay, so but that is again, for the kids' protection, for the coaches' protection as well. Okay. Okay. Moving on to competition. So team competition. So kind of going to emphasize the area in bold. Athletes cannot train in this program if they are not competing. So this is not a practice team. This is a competitive team. The kids are here to work and to to go out and compete. It's just not fair to the other kids if people are here and working out and they're not going to the competition. So we're not going to allow it. And so we just need everybody to understand that from the start is if you're not prepared to go to competitions, if you don't want to travel, if you don't want to do those things, again, no judgment, just don't, then acro and tumbling is just not the thing for you. Okay. Okay, so you guys are required to attend all competitions. As far as how the specific competitions will work, Jazzy will talk about that in a little bit. We do highly encourage you when we give you the meet schedule that you guys are going to go through and that you book your hotels early. And we encourage you to book your hotels overbook. So if you know that we're going on the weekend of February 7th, you should book the Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday, and Sunday night till Monday. Book all of those nights, and you can cancel the nights that you aren't going to use, and there is no charge for that. The reason I encourage you guys to book in advance is because have much cheaper rates if you book them earlier. So if you wait till the last minute, you're going to pay double. So don't wait, book in advance, and then cancel what you don't need. Additionally, because of the issues that we had in the past, as far as with nationals and things, we are putting all of the meet fees, including nationals, will all be part of the meet fee collection because we know it is we know with confidence that we are going to be that all girls will qualify to nationals, so we will be lumping all of those into the competition fees, so you can book those. As far as the competition fees, you should expect for the entire year for with nationals, with everything will be about $1,300 would be our guess. I cannot give you an exact number until we know exactly how many kids are going to be on the team, but it will be about $1,300. We are doing the meet fees or the meets differently this year and the competition scheduled differently. So essentially what we've decided to do is we are going to do 2 competitions here at Victory. We will be opening those up to other teams. We will be doing a travel competition to Texas. We will be doing a travel competition to NCATA Nationals, which is college nationals. And we'll have a lot of like college recruiters and things there. And then we will have USAG Nationals that we will be going to. So those will be our competitions. We're doing 1 or 2 actually in-house.
We're going to do 1 in-house, but if it's necessary to do 2, then we will do the second.
Okay.
If everybody goes to the nationals and Texas, we don't have to do that.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so sorry, we may only do 1 in-house competition, but essentially that's going to be our plan. Will there be any crossover of comps for girls doing both gymnastics and acro? No, none of the meets that we go to will be gymnastics and acro. It will be just acro. What is the Texas Tough date?
The 29th to the 2nd. January 21st, 29th into February 2nd.
Okay,
that weekend.
So Texas Tough is the meet that we're going to be going to. The meet in Texas. It's a big meet. Jazzy basically looked all around and asked all around about what is the best competition in the country, and that is this Texas Tough Meet. So that'll be the end of January, the last weekend in January, and that will be in Dallas, Texas.
That competition has also actually all the gymnastics and everything, but
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
our gyms are
Yeah.
not going to that.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there's going to be around 5 competitive teams. They said so far that's what they have people we're competing against.
Yeah. So it'll be that'll be one. They have gyms coming from like Philadelphia and where Pennsylvania.
Connecticut, I think I should say.
Yeah. So the NCATA Nationals is also in Texas, or no? Where is that one?
I think that they switched because last time it was in one of the Carolinas or something like
Okay.
that. So they've been
Okay. So we don't have locations on the Nationals yet. Those are definitely USAG is TBD, and we don't, as of right now, we haven't seen anything for NCATA. So as soon as we have those, we will give those out. But again, I'm basically, we're going to calculate the meet fees and based on the idea that we know we're traveling, and we can do that. Additionally, with the competition expenses, the meet fees are going to be non-refundable. So anybody who, so we're going to have them broken up into payments, and is going to contribute and pay. We want you guys to be able to book your travel and book all of those things with confidence, to know that that your team is going to be there. So we are not there's going to be no refund of meet fees. Those will 100% be paid in advance, and they will kids will they will be required to go again. So as far as what happens at the competitions, I'm going to let Jazzy talk a little bit about the competition expectations and kind of what happens at the competition, so you guys can kind of understand that.
So oftentimes there'll be a travel meet, since Acro is kind of very limited in California, so we will be traveling a lot of the times. With that, we will schedule a training practice most of the times with the travel meet. So that, like, an expectation for that would be we would practice on Thursday, then compete the next day or something like that. So expect that when you're traveling. This is also going to be given in advance. Athletes are expected to show up 30 to 45 minutes early, depending on who needs their hair done, as all the girls have their hair done collectively. They all have the same style. And then also we need you guys to be there early to find the venue and warm up a little bit before competition. The girls get a little bit of a limited time to warm up, so due to this, we ask them to come early and warm up a little bit more, so we can kind of limit the amount of time we need for that. Besides that, it is pretty simple, and then the girls all compete, and then nationals and level 2s will be described later on in the handbook.
Okay, perfect. Anything you want to add to any of that? The competition expectations?
Yeah, like you mentioned it before, it's a team sport, so you cannot expect, like, we had to make changes if the gymnast is not showing up the week or the 2 weeks before the competition. So just think about the team and know that the girls should be coming to practice the weeks before the event, like that we can set up the routines.
Joel, some of the comments are saying the connection is bad, so they missed the last few minutes. Do you want to give like a brief?
They should. I think they can run. They can reverse. Okay. They on the lot. You should be able to like rewind in the.
Yeah, I feel like that was a really important.
Yeah.
Of stuff.
Okay. So you should be able to just back up your kind of bar, and it'll rewind. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna keep moving forward. So I'm going to skip through the tuition. You guys understand tuition, the way that works. The big key is it's going to be on auto pay. Just if you got an issue for paying your tuition, just communicate with us. That's always what I ask of you guys. Just please don't make us chase you guys down. All right. If for some reason you decide that you no longer want to be on the team, in order to cancel with team, you must sit down and have a meeting with either Sergio or Jasmine to discuss what's going on. You know, a lot of times when kids want to cancel, it's because of something else that's going on. So, for example, maybe they're being teased. They're, you know, they're feeling they're not having, you know, they're having an issue with the coaches. And so we just need to make sure that we have a chance to understand what the issue is to potentially fix it. Additionally, you know, again, if kids are being teased, we want to make sure that stops, because if one kid's being teased, probably others are too. Okay. Okay. So the meet fees, I'm going to break down the meet fees and how those are kind of figured out and calculated. So there's two different portions of a meet fee, right? So the meet fee, there's an entry fee, which is essentially, that's what whoever the meet host is charges to host a meet. So most the gyms will be renting a facility, usually like a convention center. They're renting equipment. They're bringing in judges. They have to provide food and hotel rooms for those judges. They get medals, decorations, all that kind of stuff. So that's what the meet fees or the entry fee portion pays for. The other side is the gym fee. And so that is what pays for the coaches to travel and to participate. And so that's, Jazzy and Sergio driving to the airport. That's them, their flight. That's the meals while they're there. That's their hotel rooms. That's their pay at the actual event. So, and all that is divided by the number of kids that we have on the team. And so, if we calculate that number based on 20 kids, but then 15 kids leave or 5 kids leave and we have 15, I can't then come back to people and be like, hey, you owe a bigger portion because so-and-so left, right? So that's that fee is where that comes from as well, okay? So we are going to do the meet fees collection in 2 different ways this year. It's different than in the past. So you'll have an option to pay upfront with cash or check, or you'll have an option to have it broken up into automatic monthly payments. There is a 4% payment processing fee for doing a credit card. Those big dates will typically be in the middle of the month. My plan is to bake it up into 4 or 5 payments for you guys. If you want to pay with check and avoid that processing fee, you can do it as long as you do it a couple of days before we do the processing with the credit card, so that we can make sure you don't get billed twice. Okay. All right. And again, just going to reinforce that the meet fees are non-refundable, whether the athlete is injured, sick, quits the sport, the meet fees are non-refundable. Okay. Additionally, with this, we need anybody who does decide to join the team does need to register in USAG, in our USAG system. And that system will have, if you have not done it before, we will trigger you an email. If you have done it before, you can log in and do that. But we need you guys to get registered by the end of the month so we can start registering the athletes into the competition. We do have to register them all as one team. So I cannot register the team if even one athlete is not done their USAG registration. We cannot register the team at all. So we need everybody to make sure that gets done by the end of the month. For brand new athletes, that fee is usually $30. For continuing athletes, that's about $70. For Texas, Courtney asked, for Texas, we fly out Thursday and fly home Monday. Are the meets stay to play? So as far as the specific days and times, the way that what'll happen is that the meets will typically give us about a month and a half in advance. They will tell us you are going to be competing on Friday. You are going to be competing on Saturday, or Friday and Saturday for nationals, right? So whatever that is, we will give you that schedule as soon as we have it. And so you won't need to stay till Monday if you don't want to. If the meet is done on Saturday, you can leave again Saturday night. You can leave Sunday morning. If you choose to make it more of like a vacation, you can stay a couple extra day or so. Okay. Does that answer the question? I think so, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Next is injury notification. This year we need to, we're trying to make sure that we have better communication on injuries for kids that are injured, that the office knows, so that if we need to adjust billing, that the coaches know if an athlete isn't there or why they're not coming. And so we are having any athletes this year that are injured that we're going to affect training, that the parent does need to come in and fill out one of our injury notification forms. And so again, that form is to make sure that we have good communication. The coaches know, for example, if there's a restriction in your athlete's ability to participate in what they should be doing or shouldn't be doing. We want to make sure that that information is conveyed, not just to Sergio or not just to Jasmine, but to all three coaches, right? We want to make sure that that information is getting distributed. We want to make sure that you are not being billed accidentally if, a full price if your kid is out for an extended period of time you told the coach, but nobody in the office knows, right? So just make sure you come in and do that with the team, because it is a team and it is a year-round commitment. If you are injured and cannot practice at all for 4 weeks or more, then the tuition would be cut in half during that time. But again, that's part of filling out that injury form. If it's 12 weeks or more, then we will allow you to put your tuition completely on hold. If it's a minor injury, the kids should still be coming. If they're capable of doing any kind of conditioning or any kind of thing, they should come. The coaches can find things for them to do to help them be able to hit the ground running when they come back. The conditioning and those types of things, it is a lot harder for them, to get back up to speed if they did not be continuously training during that time. Okay. So please just make sure again that you come fill out that form in the office if anything happens to your kid. Hopefully nothing will happen anytime soon. Okay. Training uniforms. So training uniform is different than competition uniform. So training uniform is what they wear to practice. And so as far as what they are going to wear to practice, I'm going to let Jazzy talk about that a little bit more.
So for most of the girls, we require them to wear, or all the girls, they require to wear cheer shoes or some sort of tennis shoes. This is in order for the stunts to be able to go up. Also require tight shorts or shirts. Sports bras are allowed, leotards, and tank tops that are tight. All these clothes should be tight to their bodies. So as we're throwing kids in the air, we need to be able to not slip through their hands and be able to catch them safely. So yeah, pretty much all that is allowed. You need tight clothing, no loose clothing, no loose shorts, no t-shirts. Besides that is all.
Okay. Great. And then do you want to talk about competition uniforms while you're there? Yeah. Okay.
So competition uniforms, we are changing the uniforms from last year. We're keeping the same, if those that have been on the team, we're keeping the level 3 uniforms. The level 2s are going to get the same as those ones. So for level 2, they get a short sleeve jersey, shorts, and then possibly a jacket if you guys would like to. Then level 3 will get short sleeve, a long sleeve, shorts, and also a jacket. A jacket is optional. Shorts are also optional, but the jerseys are required for you guys to have. For your shoes, we only require that you guys have white tennis shoes or some sort of white shoe that you guys need, that you're comfortable in practicing in. They must be broken in for competition, and then also white socks as well. I will also send more of this information in band as we get closer to competition of what is required in terms of hair. And also, like, all of our looks should be the same, but besides that, that is all.
Okay. We're doing a meeting.
Okay, sorry.
But your check's up there under the clock in thing.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And then as far as competition uniforms, Melody Rangel will be handling the sizing and working with the girls on the sizing. We will set up a date for that after we get the team settled, probably sometime in September. And then we will let you guys know the pricing and those things for those uniforms once we get all of that settled. Okay. But typically you could expect, $100 for the comp uniform probably, and then the jackets, we don't know the cost on that specifically right now, but we'll get you that as we have it. Okay. Okay, so moving into the special events. So the Acro team, just like the other teams here, we constantly emphasize the idea that for these kids, practice is fun, but a lot of times their best memories are things that they do outside of practice. I based on my own personal experiences with athletics, I can tell you that like when we would travel and me and my friends would be running up and down the hallways of some hotel, knocking on people's doors all night, those are the types of things that I remember, right? Staying like this team sleepover, the beach day, the haunted house party that we do. All of those things, they're really important for your kids' overall experience. And so we highly encourage you guys to make sure that the kids get here. We know that they already spent a lot of time. We know you guys are busy, but it's stuff that they're going to remember forever. And at the end of the day, I think what's most important to me is that your kids look back on this and say, Mom, Dad, thank you for putting me into Acro. It was so much fun. It was like the most fun thing I did. So please, again, make sure the kids are coming to that. Additionally, at the end of the year, we will have the team banquet, which is, it's a big event. The kids dress up formally, or in theme, whatever the theme is. We have food and dancing, and they get awards from their coaches and things. So we just want to encourage you guys to make sure that you guys are attending these things. Okay, parent volunteer hours. So we do have this year. We are having the Acro and tumbling team is participating in our in one shift at the Victory Classic. So all parents, all members of the team must have at least one parent work a volunteer shift. If your athlete is 16 or older, they can work that shift for you. But everybody is required to have somebody work one shift at our meet. That can be a setup, a breakdown, or a shift in the middle. And we'll have a sign up for that the week or a couple weeks before that meet, where you can kind of pick a shift that works for your family. And that will be the weekend of March 7th through 9th. So make sure you put that in your calendar. If you can't do it, that is a $300 buyout. Okay. Now, as far as parent volunteer hours and athlete volunteer hours, there's a question about fundraising. And so we want this to be as affordable as possible for you guys. However, we are not going to do fundraising this year the way we did it last year. We had coaches coming in and volunteering their time and working their butts off, trying to raise money for the kids, and none of the kids showing up, none of the kids participating. And from a character standpoint, I believe it's important for these kids to be a part of that process of raising money, of contributing to their education, contributing to what they're doing. And so going forward, any fundraising we do, the kids will be required to be a part of if they want to share in the financials that come out of that. So, that money can be used for, we've been talking about ways to make things affordable for travel, is potentially paying for hotel rooms for kids that can travel, that maybe the whole family can't come, but we can have, what are they called? Chaperones or things like that, where we have an adult who will travel and would stay in a room with and have multiple kids stay in a room with a chaperone, something like that, to help you guys save some money on the travel and do those things. But we need to we need the kids to be a part of that process if we're going to do it. I'm not going to have Sergio coming in here volunteering the weekend, me giving up the gym, and it'd be Sergio and Jazzy in here working and none of the kids participating and just taking the money. That's not what this is supposed to be. So, okay. So,
yeah. I was gonna ask if one parent wants to do like a fundraising thing, they can always reach out to the office and everything. Because I know that sometimes the Steelers do something. So maybe a parent who is very known, likes to do fundraising, can just reach out and talk to us and figure it out.
Yeah. So if you guys have ideas for events or other things that you want to do, the gym is happy to try and support you and support the kids as long as they are involved in it, as long as they're contributing to it. Again, we want to, my number one goal here is to create a good experience for these kids, for us to raise good quality young men and women at this gym. It's gymnastics is important, but at the end of the day, that's what's most important. So as long as they're involved, I'm open to any kind of fundraising ideas or anything we can do that can help relieve any of the stress, from you guys. So, okay. If your child does gymnastics and acro, do you have to do 2 shifts? Yes. Yeah. So if there are 2 different teams, then they would. And as far as the comp fee total, I don't have an exact amount. But you're looking at about $1,300 for the season. So, and that it does include nationals. That does include both nationals and the Texas Tough Meet and the meet that we're going to have here. So, so that would be all 4 of those. Okay, moving up to move ups and crossover athletes. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Move ups are a little bit different in acro. It's not everyone is the same level. It is that someone's excelling in something else. So we have some girls that are really good at acro, some girls that are really good at tumbling, some both. But if we see someone excelling in either of those spots, we'll move them up. We do only offer level 2 and level 3. So there is no level 4, there is no level 1. We think that this is good enough for us. Our goal is to have level 3 slowly transfer to level 4. Besides that, our crossover athletes, they will be participating in both level 2 and level 3 teams. You are not required to be a crossover, but it is helpful for the teams and it is quite fun. As we do have conjoined practices, it won't be too different in order of like practicing together with your teammates. They'll practice to compete with both teams in their selected positions. So for example, we'll have some kids basing in level 2 and then some kids tumbling in level 3, but they would be considered on both teams.
I want to add something to that. That doesn't mean that the kids are going to do extra hours. They're going to have to participate in both practices. It just maybe towards the competition, we're going to ask them to come extra hours just to adequate the kid in the routine if they're in the team event or something like that, to learn the choreography or something like that, but not necessarily during the entire year is going to be participating in the 2 practices.
Yeah, and at this point, we only have 1 day where there are separated practices, so which is Monday, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. We're planning to keep it that way, having Monday be separate so that they can have like a bit of a smaller practice, and then the other days having the bigger group together where they can work together and have that kind of camaraderie and things as well. So. Okay, do you want to get into the scoring and stuff now then too?
So Acro will be competing events as an acro, toss, pyramid, tumbling, and a group team event. Our level 2 competes compulsory routines, which means these are the routines that all competing teams will be competing. These are the same throughout everywhere, I guess. They all have a star value of 10. So all of it has a 10, and then from there, 10s will be deducted in regards to performance in such within that. The team routine consists of a number of skills in which the higher the difficulty, the higher the start value for the team. So level 2 is pretty simple, compulsory. They compete all the routines as everyone else. And then a team routine, which all their skills are combined, and then that is depending on their skill value. And then for level 3, it's more of a collegiate style, which means that we do compete compulsory routines, which is the same routines between everyone. And optional routines. Optional routines are a few routines that we have that is separate events. So that means that we can do harder skills, and that means you have a higher start value, so we can get possibly a higher score. So compulsory routines are out of 10. Optional routines are out of how high our skills are, and then we get deducted from there. Our team routine is the same thing there, and then so the optional routines are just a little bit more complicated. So we have synchronized events and everything that we've said. And then we also have more optional and certain elements that are different in there.
Okay. So we understand that a lot of you guys are new to Acro or don't necessarily understand these things. If you have questions, feel free to ask. We'll definitely, I know Jazzy goes through some of it quickly because she knows it all, but definitely feel free to ask. I think, do we have questions right now? I guess we'll open it up to general questions and then we can you go from there.
I want to add that maybe the best way to understand the sport is you can always go and watch it on YouTube. Go check one of the colleges the NCATA offers, and then you will see the competition. And it's actually good for the kids. They get to see what they're working for, what they going forward in their gymnastics career, because this sport is growing and it's getting better and better. And you probably were thinking in college that for the parents, for your kids, that's a good opportunity to get scholarships.
And then in terms of the question in chat, there are 4 meets. So we will have 1 home meet here in Newbury Park, and then so far the other confirmed is in Texas. The other 2 are national competitions, so that means that we won't get the dates and locations until later on, but we are keeping in contact, and they said around maybe 2 weeks or so. Within that time, then we'll get the locations for those meets as well.
And also the dates, our first competition is going to be in January, like we said, a Texas meet. We were thinking we actually picked the date for our home meet. That will be in February, right? The 21st, I believe. We mentioned it. If we were depending on the dates of last year, the first nationals, the NCATA nationals, they've been happening in April the last couple of years. So we're hoping, we're making a big guess, maybe it will be in April too. And nationals recently has been happening also in June. So that's kind of like maybe the dates for the competitions.
But you guys will get a confirmed list of the meets and meet fees very soon. And then the next on the list is national qualifications. As we mentioned, this is a little bit different than gymnastics. It's not score-based. Instead, it is you have to compete 3 sanctioned competitions as a team, and then that's how you are able to be accepted into nationals. Nationals are pretty much all the time travel meets as well. So level 2 will compete 1 day in nationals. Level 3 competes 2 days in nationals. And then we'll also establish a separate practice, as we mentioned before the competition, so that the girls are all warmed up and ready for competition. And then again, an ideal expectation for the nationals, Thursday will be practice day, Friday competition day for the level 2s and level 3s. These will be the compulsory routines, so all the routines that people compete, that all teams are competing. Then Saturday would be just level 3, which is event finals, and optionals, which are the skills that they have based on difficulty.
Okay. So for the folks that are doing the crossover practice, so yes, if you are doing both gymnastics and acro, essentially, if your child does gymnastics training on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you would continue to practice. You would just come to practice on Thursday and Saturday. If you do practice on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, then you would come to practice on Monday. And then Saturday, that's one of the reasons we pushed back the practice to start at noon, is that that practice will be noon to 3. Additionally, that gives us additional big floor time, which is beneficial for the girls to be able to do the cross tumbling and those things that are harder to do when the gym's super busy. And then, so that's how we'll do it. And then the billing will be based on the number of hours that your child is doing in that situation. So, it would be, if they're missing the Monday practice, then they would only be billed for the Thursday and Saturday, which would be the 5 hours. And then, safe to say 3 of the 4 meets. Yes, 100%. 3 of the 4 meets are out of state. 1 is in Texas. We don't have the locations on the 2 nationals yet, but pretty much a guarantee those are both going to be out of state. It's just California's. They almost never do nationals here because the venues are so expensive. So that's why. So, yeah, as soon as we have those venues, those locations, we would distribute that out to you. Again, we will have basically a meet fee calculated, and we're going to go off of that number, even no matter where they end up putting the meet. So hourly fees, yes. So the hourly fees are based. All fees on the competitive team are based on the number of hours that the kids train. So, basically, for example, if they train 4 hours, it's 260 or 270. 5 hours is 290 or something. I have to look up the exact numbers, but so it's all based on the number of hours that the groups train. So, right now, 8 hours is 335, and 7 hours is 325. 6 hours is 310. So all that, basically kind of adjusts, and that's whatever it is based on that. Is there any more questions? Not sure. Can you clarify your question, Pugs Wifty? In addition to 325, I'm not sure what you're asking.
Maybe for Excel and Acro.
Okay, so if you're doing Excel, you would pay your Excel rate, and you would also pay your portion of the Acro rate. Based on the number of hours. Does that answer? Okay. So again, so your costs. So your cost is your monthly tuition, right? So your monthly tuition is what you pay to train, and that is going to be based on the number of hours your group trains. So again, if you're in level 2 and your group trains 7 hours right now, then your tuition is $325 a month. Additionally, you'll have in the middle of the month, we will have payments for the meet fees. And you can, we'll break those up into 4 or 5 payments. Those will be about $1,300 for the season to pay for the meets. So you can figure, if we do it as 4 payment, that's an additional $325. If we do it as 5 payments, it would be $260 for each of those middle monthly payments. Those are your competition entry fees, which cover your athletes' entry into the meet and the coaches' travel and expenses. Okay, so you would pay for your child's flight, hotel, etc. Or if you wanted to, again, if we wanted to fundraise, we can do that. And money can go, if you wanted to send your athlete with one of the chaperones, that's something we can do as well to keep the cost down for folks.
And then in terms of fundraisers, we would love to start as soon as possible instead of as we did for nationals. We kind of started maybe a month beforehand. So if any parents are willing to volunteer their time in order to set up fundraisers, we would love to collaborate with those. So if you would like to, you can go to the office, you can go to me, Natalie, or Sergio to talk about that. We can set up fundraisers for you guys. And then along that, we talked about how the kids should be participating in those. So those that would need the proceeds should be participating, and their parents and them should be helping as well. And then yes, I will update the band practices for you guys so it's a little bit easier.
I think that this year, the people that have been in this program for 2 or maybe 3 years, you're gonna see more, a lot of involvement of the gym. Just the fact that the owner of the gym is sitting here with 3 coaches is a big deal. Last year, I remember having this meeting over there. It was just 2 coaches, so it shows that this year is getting better and better. And yes, we had an option of competing here in Vegas, but based of the experience that we had last year, we want to play safe. We don't want to go to a meet when it's only us. And yes, we have the requirement, but we couldn't understand, or we couldn't see what was happening in the rest of the country. So it's better to have Texas and nationals when we know we're gonna have people that we're gonna compete against. So again, this year is looking way better.
Great. Great. Any more questions?
I have a question. When are they supposed to fill out and sign these
Yeah.
handbooks?
Yeah. So please, yeah. So if you guys, if you are going to accept your position on the team, please make sure to submit this paperwork to us on Monday, which is the next practice day for everybody. So please submit your paperwork on Monday. You should sign the team handbook, and also at the front, ask them for a copy of a team contract. You will fill that out. Basically, that just talks about the billing for tuition. And so you will fill that there. And then this handbook will always be available at that link that we put in the email. So that's a living document. So that'll always be there. Additionally, your team contract will be uploaded to your Jackrabbit account, and you guys can kind of look at that at any time. But please let us know on Monday so that we can basically start getting the teams the teams together and everything. The training schedule will start in earnest on Monday the 19th when we transition back to the fall comp schedule or training schedule. Okay. Any more questions? No? All right. Guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate you all being, taking time out of your Saturday. We hope your kids are enjoying Acro, and we're really excited for this season. The two national competitions should be fun. They're going to get a lot of exposure to college coaches and seeing that kind of experience. We think we're definitely very excited with the coaching and the lineup. And so, we're constantly trying to improve. Again, if we're not perfect, we're going to make some mistakes, but a big thing for me is trying to learn from our mistakes. So just communicate with us if there's something that's going on. And, I promise you there'll be efforts to make it better. Okay. So have a great weekend. Again, I will post this online if you want to revert back to it to ask any, or to go back through if you're unsure of anything. And otherwise, we'll hopefully see your kids here in an hour. Okay. All right. Have a good one.
Yes, practice today.